Hello, this is Matthew Robert Payne, and this is called Visiting William Booth in Heaven. Uh, for those who don't know who William Booth is, you've heard of the charity and church called Salvation Army. Salvation Army are involved in charitable works all over the world in many countries, and that church and charity was created by William Booth and his wife. Uh, and this is an interview with William Booth in heaven. And So we'll start with a room in his house. And this was quite strange. What I saw was a chair and a table. Uh, 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 what do we call uh, a coffee table in front of the chair, and on the coffee table were boot polishers. And William Booth was sitting in the chair, and he had shoe polish out and was polishing a pair of boots. And the whole room has got shelves in it, and it's all shoes and boots, and it's what you could possibly call his shoe room. And he particularly likes boots, and there's black and brown and red boots, and it's really fascinating. I can actually smell the shoe polish in the room, and he's there, and you sort of there's be no smoking in heaven, but it'd be the sort of room that you'd expect that someone to be smoking a cigar while polishing their boots. But they don't have cigars and cigarettes in heaven. But it's the sort of place you'd imagine that they would. Um, so that's one room in his house. And uh, I I go to the first question. What are you doing in heaven? Well, I've set up a number of places in heaven where you can get things done in heaven. So if you want an extension to your house, if you want your house remodeled, if you want certain services from heaven, um, different requests that people have on heaven's resources, you can go to our offices, and we'll get that organized for you. So you may want to remodel your kitchen in your mansion. You may want to put an extra room in your mansion rather than going to the 100 builders that can do that individually, and spending time with them and working it out. You come to our offices, and we ask you for what are your ideas, what you want, and we have an architect work with you to design the new kitchen, and then we find a builder to build that for you. But you may have an idea that you want to take your family to celebrate a certain function in heaven, and you're not aware of a restaurant that can do the function, and you may need help in your decision. We can help you with that. We can understand. We understand all the restaurants in heaven. We understand what they're capable of. We also understand the caterers in heaven who can come to your own house and cater a function. Each of the rooms in heaven, in your house and in buildings, can expand according to the need. And so you may just need your dining room to expand to a level that you can have 100 people there, and we can arrange for that to happen, and for you to get caterers in. So we're an essential part of heaven, where people just come with needs. They have all sorts of needs, and we're just like, the best way to explain it is we're a social service. We just match people's desires and needs with a service that provides it, and we farm the work out in a good way. We don't have any form of corruption or favoritism. When we're choosing a restaurant for someone, we choose a restaurant that suits their criteria and suits their needs. We don't have a list of restaurants that get priority service from us, and everything is above board, as you'd expect in heaven. But many times on earth, if there was a company that was doing this, that have favorite clients, and they'd have favorite restaurants that they'd refer people to, and favorite builders that they'd refer people to. There's a lot of room for dishonesty on earth, but there's no room for that up here. So Salvation Army on earth became a place that could simply address people's needs, needs for food, needs for bills to be paid, needs for acts of charity. And I came on to heaven and was given a similar role, a similar thing to do. And so many people in heaven every day need services done in heaven. And we've got every sort of trade up here. We've got every sort of need that can be addressed up here. And I help facilitate that in the people. Now, if a person wants a function at a restaurant, they can just approach different restaurants and not get quotes, because there's no money exchange in heaven, but they can size out different restaurants for themselves, and go to 2 or 3 restaurants and decide then which restaurant is going to have the business. They can do it that way, or they can just simply come to us with the specifications of their function and what needs to happen, and you'll find they'll find that we are efficient at that, and we can find a restaurant that caters to their needs. So we really enjoy our job. I really enjoy serving people. I like to see the happiness that people have. Sometimes I get out to a person's house and I see the before and after. I see their kitchen before it was remodeled, and I see their kitchen after it was remodeled, and I'm able to go to the official opening of the new kitchen, and when it's unveiled to the client. So it's a really good job, and you mightn't have thought of it when you think of heaven. You mightn't think of a service like ours, an administration like ours. But now that I've explained it to you, you can see all the different needs and requirements that may be required in heaven, and you can understand that we get quite busy. People can come to us with a request for a new dog, and they can say the specifications and the breed of the dog and how old they want the dog to be, and we can go to inquire on their behalf of pet shops in heaven to find their dog for them. So we're like a service matchment agency. We match the service provider with the client, and we do a good job of it. We don't charge commission. There's no financial gain in that. Once again, if you haven't read this series of books, no money passes hands in heaven. Heaven is a free economy. Everything is free in heaven. So our service is merely that. It's a service that's provided free of charge. So a person can go to a builder in heaven and say they want to remodel their kitchen, and the builder can get an architect to draw the plans, and the builder can do it, or else they can come to us and get a selection of builders and ones that have more experience in the type of renovation that they want. So that's what I'm doing in heaven, and I hope that you found some interest. You may not have really connected with what I do, but in heaven, there's a good chance that you'll use my service when you come to heaven, and you may not want changes to your kitchen. Your kitchen, like every home in heaven, is designed with your desires in mind. God has a good understanding of the things you like and the things that are precious to you, and your house is designed like that before you get to your house in heaven, so everything will be perfect for you. But you may come across someone else's kitchen that you like, and you may want a similar kitchen in your house, and you may have a reason for change, and that's where we come in handy. What do you like about heaven? I like doing my job. I like helping people with their needs and their desires. But there's many things that I like. I like meeting new people, and in my place of work, I get to meet new people each day. I have a large number of workers that work in our separate offices and do our jobs. I've got a good relationship with all our employees, even though money doesn't exchange hands. We still talk in terms of employees, and I try and maintain a good relationship with all the people that work in our offices. And I love dealing with people who love people and love to serve people, and that's the type of person that we want serving with us. People who are hospitable and lovely and charitable towards other people. They can also have good knowledge of general knowledge of the sort of queries that come in for us. We've got a number of experts that work for us, builders and plumbers and different trades that work with us, that are able to advise on certain specific issues that come up, on certain specific requests that come up. I enjoy meeting the public. I enjoy meeting strangers through my work and through socializing. Heaven is different to earth in that as you walk down the street in heaven, you can tell certain things about certain people, and sometimes the information that you gain about a person when you look at them makes you want to know the person in greater detail. And you can be walking down the street and suddenly see a person and recognize something you want to know more about, and take the person for a coffee. So you often are meeting strangers and developing a relationship with them, which is something that doesn't happen on Earth. I know a lot of males and females on Earth would like Earth to cooperate like that. A lot of single males would love to walk down the street and see a attractive single female and have the opportunity to walk up to her and take her out for a coffee. But it doesn't seem to happen like that on Earth, but it does happen like that in heaven. People interact with strangers, and you'll find when you meet a person like that, and you find out information about them when you look at them, you'll find that when they look at you, there's information about you that they're attracted to too. So it can work both ways. So in that way, I enjoy meeting strangers in heaven and having coffee with them and going out for a meal with them. The restaurant life in heaven is amazing. There's all sorts of restaurants in heaven, and they're all free. And it's good to have a good collection of friends in heaven. I've got a whole lot of people that are used to be part of the Salvation Army on earth that are friends of mine in heaven. And there's so many pastors and leadership of Salvation Army on earth that want to meet me when they get to heaven, and they have that opportunity, and I'm always spending time with them, discussing their life on earth, discussing what they used to do, and spending time talking about what they're doing in heaven. And I do sometimes recruit people to work with me from some of those conversations, but all of those conversations tend to happen in cafes and restaurants in heaven. And I do host people at my home, and I have people around for dinner at my home, but I find it a lot more conducive to free-flowing conversation to have my meetings in restaurants, and that gives people an opportunity to pick a meal and a cuisine that they like, and not only just have conversation. You tend to think that your meals at home are just plain meat and potatoes and plain ordinary meals, and meals at restaurants are a lot more entertaining and a lot more exotic than what you may fare at home. But I enjoy spending time with people. The people of heaven are a different breed. There's no greed and selfishness and envy in heaven. There's no earthly lusts, and no one is in love with the world and the things of the world, and they're not swayed by the flesh. And so relationships in heaven are pure and filled with unconditional love, and it's really exciting to have them. I enjoy the fellowship of heaven. I sometimes am used to preach to congregations, and there's many people that have fellowships in heaven, like Madame Guyon was saying. They have small group fellowships, and I'm often invited to come and speak at those fellowships, and I like to do that too. What is your message for us? I encourage people on earth to develop an intimacy with Jesus. I can't suggest too highly the need and the way it'll benefit you to have a two-way conversational relationship with Jesus, like Madame Guyon was saying. It can just take your relationship with Jesus to another level if you can speak back and forth to him, and it really encourages intimacy in your relationship. So I encourage people to read, if you haven't already read, Matthew's book called 7 Keys to Intimacy with Jesus. And I suggest that you read that book and put those 7 keys into practice in your own life. Your life will be better and more fulfilled, and the lives of others will be better and have more fulfillment in them as you interact with them, if you've got an intimate relationship with Jesus. Intimacy with Jesus affects your life, and it affects the lives of the people that you love as you show them love and interact with them in a wholesome way. Jesus really desires intimacy with his people. He really desires you to grow close to him, and growing close to Jesus isn't something that should be left until you come to heaven. In fact, your intimacy with Jesus should start on earth, and the fact of the matter is that you only develop from the stage that you are on earth. In heaven, you further develop. So you only reach a certain stage on earth, and when you get to heaven, you're at that certain stage. You don't progress in heaven just because you're in heaven. So it takes work in heaven to progress into a deeper and more fulfilling relationship with Jesus. So you can get a head start on your relationship when you're on earth. And so I encourage people on earth to develop an intimate relationship with Jesus, and it affects everything. It affects your work life, it affects your married life, it affects your single life, it affects the way that you interact with people, it affects the way that you interact with strangers, it affects everything. And it's one of the most important things you can do is develop an intimate relationship with Jesus. And I encourage you to do that. Matthew has many books that speak to living the proper Christian life, and you can check out his books. You can check out over 40 of his books at MatthewRobertPayne.com, which will be mentioned in the book, and there'll be a hyperlink to it. Over 40 of his books are there for free to read on any device, on any computer. So I encourage you to read Matthew's books and grow close to Jesus as best that you can. If you enjoyed this chapter of the book, please write a review that you liked William Booth's interview, and I'll see you in heaven.